nearly 100 years of that, so it's all in a good cause. You won't go without it, will you?
What a line reading. I think the train itself decided to stop. Fabulous. Albert Finney is an imperious English actor known as Sir, stopping a train as only an actor would in the dresser. One of 5 new films we'll be reviewing on At the Movies, the movie review program. Across the aisle from me, Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And across the aisle from me is Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune. Also on this show, we're going to be reviewing Reckless, a story of forbidden teenage love. Reuben Reuben, about a cranky, alcoholic Scottish poet. And now Gene starts with Woody Allen's newest movie, Broadway Danny Rose.
Well, for a long time, ever since Annie Hall, nearly 7 years ago, a lot of Woody Allen's fans have been wanting him to make one like he used to, a silly film without any big issues. His latest picture, Broadway Danny Rose, comes very close to that, and it's very funny, exceedingly well crafted, and it's a pleasure to see and talk about. In the film, Woody Allen plays an unsuccessful Broadway agent who handles only marginal acts, like a one-legged tap dancer and a stuttering ventriloquist. But most of the movie is about Woody's battles with his leading act, a beefy Italian singer trying to make a comeback, and the floozy this singer hangs around with. Mia Farrow plays that woman. She really gives Woody's singer a rough time breaking off their relationship, putting it back on, and they talk about that and other things in this very brief scene.
Boy, that guy Johnny must have really been crazy about you.
I don't know. Yeah, I like to flirt, you know. Sometimes people take it too seriously. Johnny's all right. He was really nice to me when my marriage fell apart.
Yes, and what did your husband do?
A little bookmaking, some loan sharking, extortion, like that.
So you're a professional. What'd you do? You divorced him, or you got a separation, or what?
Some guy shot him in the eyes.
Really? He's blind?
Dead.
He's dead, of course, because the bullets go right through.
Hard to believe that's Mia Farrow in that scene. She's marvelous. If you don't spot her name in the opening credits, you're not going to know it's her until maybe at the very end of the picture. That's the only scene that Woody Allen would allow to be shown from Broadway Danny Rose. It's funny enough, old-fashioned Woody Allen funny enough, but I don't think it does justice to the warmth of the characters and to Allen's tribute to fringe show business types that runs all the way through this most enjoyable picture. This is my favorite Woody Allen film since Manhattan. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You know, you were right to say that for a long time people have been asking, let's have another Woody Allen picture.
Right.
Let's not have an experiment like Zelig or a whimsical little fantasy like a Midsummer Night's Sex comedy. Let's go back to Manhattan or Annie Hall. And now
or way back,
that.
Bananas. I mean,
Sure.
Who cares?
This kind of picture is as hard to make or harder than those experiments like Zelig. Now, Zelig was great for all the editors. They're working over these special effects. They're putting Woody Allen in pictures with Theodore Roosevelt and so forth. This movie, with its warmth, with its heart, with its big laughs,
Yes.
is a harder kind of movie to make and a better achievement. And I really liked it.
I think so, too. And you said big laughs. There is one laugh in this film, and I won't tell the joke. There is one laugh that is explosively funny, and I thought, I just haven't laughed like that in a Woody Allen film till I think since he put his gun on that bionic nose in Sleeper, you know, or he was part of that marching chain gang going to the bathroom and take the money and run. I mean, these are big laughs. He should be very proud of himself for this one scene. You know which one with the...
I do.
Okay.
I do. And for the rest of the movie, too. Next at the movies, a doomed teenager and his girlfriend attempt to find happiness in high school. Our next movie is named Reckless, and it's the story of a teenage rebel with a cause and his passionate love affair with a high school cheerleader. The rebel is a kid named Rourke who lives in a shack with his alcoholic father, and the school records say this kid has behavioral problems. Well, he also has a problem with having seen too many old Jimmy Dean and Marlon Brando movies, so that he stalks around the high school in a leather jacket, he rides a motorcycle, and he talks all the time in a monotone like this. But he's a football hero, and in this scene he goes to a dance with the most popular cheerleader and gets in a fight with the square class leader who also wants to date this girl.
Come on.
Hey, Randy.
We're getting out of here.
Let go.
Right now.
Randy, let go.
go nothing. We're going.
No.
Everybody is staring.
So?
Man, let her go.
Come on, knock it off. Come on. Hey, what is it? Come on. What?
Hey!
What do you want?
Forget it.
Hey,
What do you want?
you want to go for a ride?
Where to?
I don't know. Around? Scared?
Graduate of the Marlon Brando School of Expressive Underacting. That was Aidan Quinn as Rourke, and Daryl Hannah as his day. Two movie newcomers who have good careers ahead of them, I think, and Daryl Hannah's made several movies, but not this one. Isn't going to be one of their great ones. After that night, the two of them join in a passionate downward spiral that leads to a big night where they break into the high school, destroy all the records, go skinny dipping in the swimming pool, and make love in the boiler room in front of all the red roaring flames. This movie has a real fix on major teenage fantasies. And it's also very well photographed. Some of the shots here make Quinn and Hannah look like teenage icons. But the movie never really leads anywhere. It's pretty slow-paced, and it's a little too heavy-handed in the acting department given how lightweight this material really is.
Oh, it's truly lightweight, and I think I liked it less than you did, it sounds like, because I thought it was utterly predictable. This film marches along. You know, we saw a picture very much like this that was good, Valley Girl, where you have the rough guy. But the rough
and the
guy,
girl from the nice family.
Yes, and the square guy that she's going out with. In that film allowed us to have little communities develop, though. The girl and her friends, the boy and his friends. This movie is just two people marching along in a very predictable way, so that we're miles ahead of this picture in the first reel.
I'll tell you another thing about Valley Girl. It allowed the kids to be kids. It allowed them to be 16 or 17. These are kids seen as movie stars in a way. The camera's a little low, the lighting is dramatic, they cut down their dialogue until it's just great big symbolic significant lines one at a time, and it's just all so distant that we can't believe they're high school kids. We can't care about them like that.
The other thing is, this movie, I must say, makes me want to, just because he's the tough guy and mumbles, I'm supposed to think he's important.
Yeah, why is he nice?
Why would anyone want to be with him?
Yeah.
He's a jerk from the start to the finish. The only reason she's doing it is because it's the script.
Okay, so let's take our trays and sit at a different table. Huh?
All right, I'm going to go to a much more interesting table. Our next film is The Dresser, the story of an intricate, mutually dependent relationship between two men in the English theater, a strong-willed, old-fashioned, pompous touring actor, the lead in all of his company's productions, and his effeminate, fastidious, and thoroughly dedicated dresser who serves him as part coat hanger and constant nursemaid. The work this poor man has to do for this star. For example, how do you explain to a star that he's getting a bit dotty and that he has mistakenly put on the makeup for Othello when the play he's performing tonight is really King Lear?
All's well, I've spoken to the actors. Oh, no, sir, no! Not Othello! The lines are fouled. Instruct the puppeteer to renew the strings.
I'd have given anything to see the play tonight. The Jew all blacked up and Cordelia saying, "You begot me, bred me, loved me."
Well, you see, Ducky, this King Lear, he been about a bit.
Right there you can see some of the tension between the men because the dresser can do some of those lines just as well as the star. That was Tom Courtenay as the dresser, repeating his stage success from London, and that was Albert Finney, believe it or not, as Sir, the lead actor. I couldn't recognize Finney in this performance. He truly is one of our acting treasures with an incredible range. Now here's another scene between the two men, with Finney using Courtenay now as sort of a wastebasket for his frustrations.
Thornton to see you, sir.
Well, Geoffrey, does the costume fit?
Mr. Davenport Scott is such a small man.
You look. You know the lines?
Yes.
Don't keep me waiting for them. Let me hear you sing.
What?
He that has a little tiny wit.
He that has and a little tiny wit, with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, for the rain it raineth every day.
All right. Speak it, don't sing it.
God bless Geoffrey.
I'd rather face the Nazi hordes any time.
Even though this sir may not like all the little players, this movie likes every kind of actor. The Dresser is a very fine drama celebrating those who serve and wait, and it also celebrates the theater, where if it all goes well, we in the audience have absolutely no idea of the pain and the long years of frustration that go into an acting career or a performance. The film also makes the point that so often we are kinder to strangers than the ones who love us. We take their love for granted. So, fine acting and a strong undercurrent of something serious to say about relationships, that all makes The Dresser a very special movie.
It's a real good one as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a great film. And you've talked about the human values and about the emotions that are in it and so forth. I'd like to talk on a more pragmatic level. We've talked often about the fact that we love movies where people do things, and they do things they know how to do, and they do them well, and we get to find out...
How-to movies.
How-to. Here we have the makeup going on, the makeup coming off, the rehearsal, the drop lines, the cues, rumbling that enormous thunder machine backstage, make the sound go louder, louder for the thunder and the lightning. Then the relationships between Sir and the people who work with him, and the history of the last 20 years, and the provincial theater, and on and on and on. There's so much in this movie to be interested in.
It is a great backstage movie. And I hadn't thought about it that way, but it is a terrific backstage movie. I love films, just as you say, where you learn things while the story is taking place.
And at the same time, at the end, an emotional payoff. Next at the movies, the story of one of those eccentric British poets who specializes in staggering around American university campuses in a drunken haze.
The body of Christ, the bread of man, the body of Christ.
Oh, no, thanks. No. I'm on a diet.
Our next movie is named Reuben Reuben, and it's about a classic type on the American university lecture circuit, sort of a brilliant but eccentric and definitely alcoholic Scottish poet who lives off of lecture fees and specializes in seducing the local women. The movie stars Tom Conti, a Scottish actor, as the poet, a character named Gowan McGland, who depends on his charm and his reputation to get him through almost any situation. Here he is at a campus party that's being thrown in his honor.
Thank you so much. You just pass them over there. It would help greatly.
So, could you just point out the nymphomaniacs to me?
Not to worry. They'll make themselves known. Gowan. Gowan. Isn't that a lovely party?
Lovely-ish.
Bobby, you go be a hostess. I'll take care of Gowan. They look wonderful together.
God, I detest their music. I loathe their language. I despise their politics. In short, I hate their youth.
It's a wonderful piece of dialogue there. This movie is based on a novel by Peter DeVries, and that's Kelly McGillis is the girl that he's looking at across the room, and he falls in love with that young woman. And after she snubs him, he goes back to his apartment for some serious drinking. And then he dictates a memo to his first wife, Edith, who is writing a biography about him. He wants to set the emotional record straight. And by the way, at the end of the scene, he's not really hanging himself. He's just using a complicated neck brace.
Edith, you will never know what I've been through. All I will tell you is this, that I'm going to go somewhere far away, where I'm not known, and for one solid week, I'm going to do nothing but howl like a dog. That's all you're gonna get, Edith. My neck is killing me.
You won't bite. Calvin.
Yeah, he's kind of lovable and kind of pathetic and kind of pitiful. Reuben Reuben begins like a comedy with a lot of laughs as this drunk staggers along on what's left of his fame. He hasn't written a poem in 5 years. But then there's a turning point, a scene where he's all by himself and he starts to cry. This is a guy with problems. He can't laugh away and he can't drink them away. But then he meets that young girl. They fall in love. And the question is, will love solve his problems? Will this girl solve his problems? The movie answers that with one of the weirdest and most unexpected endings I've ever seen in the movies. An ending that makes you keep on thinking about Reuben Reuben a long time after it's over. This is a good movie.
I didn't think about it very much after it was over.
Really?
And because you called him sort of lovable and pathetic.
And pitiful, yes.
And pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked maybe pathetic out of all of those three. Of course, his alcoholism is a very sad thing, and you can feel bad about that for him. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that isn't enough to sustain me through his story, because he's pretty much a jerk throughout this picture. Mm-hmm. He is very cruel to the older women he loves, mm-hmm. Who love him, or want to have an affair with him at least. He's quite mean to them, and the whole relationship with the girl talk about a strange ending. There is an absolutely mystifying ending to their relationship. I know if we got into it, I'd have to give away more of the picture than I want to, but the way their relationship switches off at the end, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
This is interesting because it seems to me that instead of saying this is a bad film, you're saying it's about a bad guy. All of your criticisms have been about his behavior.
Yeah.
Well, this is a movie about his behavior, and at the end you can say this is a movie about a drunken louse.
Yeah, except, Roger, I don't have to be that. I've seen movies about drunken people that are interesting, and I've seen them when they're not interesting.
Okay, well, that's more valid.
Okay, you know which category this fits in for me. Number one. But her behavior toward him at the end is totally wacko. I mean, I'll get into it a little bit. She blows him away. I mean, she kisses off their relationship for absolutely no reason.
For no reason?
No, none.
How about this reason? He's a hopeless alcoholic, and all she can do is just either go along for the ride or get out while the getting's good. How's that for a good reason?
She wants to split then about an hour and a half from him after I did.
Well, in that case, what can I say? Except coming up next to the movies, a low-budget hit that's been described as Porky's on skis. Well, here he is, Aroma the Educated Skunk, back with the stinker of the week. He looks kind of like he's asleep.
Yes, Aroma the Educated Rug. My stinker this week is a low-budget movie that has turned into a surprise hit. It's called Hot Dog, and it's a skiing film mixed with sex scenes. We follow an innocent male skier to a hot dog freestyle skiing competition at swinging Squaw Valley in California.
Hey, what do you say? We tear up this mountain. Okay, let's hit it. Woo! All right, go!
Squaw Valley is presented in this film as the kind of place where the female desk clerk at your hotel greets you in the nude, having just stepped out of a hot tub. I've been to Squaw Valley, great skiing. I think I picked the wrong hotel. This is the wrong movie, too, because it doesn't give us either enough sex to be truly erotic or enough skiing to celebrate that exciting sport. During the somersault jumping, for example, the director uses obvious editing tricks to make it seem like the skiers are doing more somersaults than they really are. Either let them ski naturally or let them have sex naturally. That way, Hot Dog would have been worthy of its title.
One way or the other, right? You know, there's always a market for these skiing films, and they appear to appeal to the kinds of people who every time somebody falls, they laugh. You know, it never gets old for them. Now let's take another look at the movies on this show. We both voted thumbs up for Woody Allen's Broadway Danny Rose, a return to Allen's tradition of great New York comedies. 2 thumbs down, though, for Reckless, the overwrought and underwritten teenage passion play. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up for The Dresser with Albert Finney and Tom Courtenay, locked in a long-running backstage relationship. And a split decision on Reuben Reuben, the movie about the drunken Scottish poet. I had some reservations, but I liked it more than Gene did.
Yes, you did. But we both agree on The Dresser and the Woody Allen film Broadway Danny Rose. It's nice to have Woody Allen making an old-fashioned Woody Allen film. That's all for this week. Next time, we'll have a special show devoted to the 4 Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry movies. We'll evaluate all 4 and try to explain why this latest one, Sudden Impact, is such a monster hit. That's next week, The Secret of Dirty Harry. And until then, we'll see you at the movies.
Pan American, whether it's business or pleasure or a little bit of both across the country and around the world, Pan Am, you can't beat the experience. America's favorite movie candies are coming home. Now enjoy Raisinets, Goobers, and Snowcaps at home and at the movies, star attractions for your movie time pleasure. New AutoFresh flow-through car air freshener attaches to your air vent and circulates freshness throughout your car. Another fresh new idea from Johnson Wax.